Smart 24, Driving Business.
Watching Smart Means Business, your daily Kickstarter, as we bring you the latest into the world of business and so many other sectors, but of course, focusing on the business angle. Well, at this very time, we're getting to our insight, but definitely before we get in there, don't forget to trade stocks. The markets on Zab have already opened. Start to 92 hashes the USSD code, which will avail you to quite lots of options. You can choose to buy government bonds or securities for as little as 15,000 Ugandan shillings. Yes, the markets opened at exactly 8:15 and they will be closing at 3:15 p.m. That is East African time, and this is effective Monday to Friday, except on the public holidays and the weekends when the markets are not in operation. But you still have the rest of the 5 days to capitalize on these markets and make quite lots of huge profits, and this could be a potential backup for your failure. Probably something didn't go well into your business and you have this side hustle. There is no more excuse why you shouldn't own stocks. Zabu just made this a reality. At any place, at the comfort of your home, you can buy the securities. Zabu, my money, my future. All takes East Africa, do something new. And now driving into our business insight this morning. Of course, we shall be looking at the public service remuneration. Now, the members of parliament are recommended abandoning what they call a discriminatory payment system where science-based workers earn exorbitantly. And now we see that ultimately government has been advised that is to create salary review commission to address discrepancy among public servants, and so many other related aspects in these very matter. But of course, let's get into this discussion, of course, when we shall be returning shortly to have a further insight about it.
Government approved salary enhancement for scientists and science teachers across the service with effect from July 1st, 2022. The categories approved for salary enhancement are 1. Health professionals, 2. Scientists in the mainstream public service, 3. Science teachers post-primary schools, 4. Science lecturers, tutors, instructors in business, technical, vocational education training institutions, and 5. Laboratory technicians and assistants in secondary schools. In addition, there was approval of salary enhancement for senior military officers under the Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs. Colleagues, following the above cabinet decision, the Ministry of Public Service issued the new salary levels under the Circular Standing Instruction number 1 of 2022. This prescribed in detail the new monthly and annual salary of every public servant with effect from July 2022, as I will lay as Annex 1. The salary structure for police and prison staff in U5, U6, U7, and U8 was also singled out under Schedule 5 of this circular, which I attach as Annex 2. Therefore, there is no ambiguity in implementation of salary structure of government public servants in financial year 2022-2023. The Ministry of Public Service advised Ministry of Finance on budget implications of the new salary structure for all science and non-science staff across government, including police and prison staff, which we have fully budgeted for, and funds released in the last 3 quarters of this financial year as requested. Honorable colleagues, Ministry of Finance has been able to budget fully for salaries of all public servants whose salaries were enhanced through supplementary budget this financial year, which is before this August House for scrutiny and approval. Right Honorable Speaker, I wish to end by stating that the concerns of non-payment of the enhanced salaries, some sections of scientists in any government department, and specifically Uganda Prison Service, may be due to the respective terms of employment specified in the appointments to the positions they hold, which my colleague, the Minister of Public Service and the Minister of Internal Affairs, can elaborate on.
This business of segregating civil servants is unfair. Secondly, why don't you recruit more civil servants into civil service other than looking at one side of science teachers, scientists alone? As we talk now, Honorable Speaker, let us look at the results of Senior 4, Primary 7, and look at the performance. They are all affected as the result of segregation between those who teach science and those who teach arts. And we cannot continue as Parliament to accept this. We fought it, we refused it, but Cabinet and ministers are still confirming the same.
I think we need serious harmonization. Apart from science teachers, Right Honourable Speaker, on 9th March 2023, Public Service wrote to 3 institutions. That is Mulago National Referral Hospital, Cancer Institute, and Heart Institute. And it wrote to them approving their structures. In that structure, the Executive Director of Mulago gets 15 million. The Executive Director of Heart Institute gets 39 million. The Executive Director of Cancer Institute gets 25 million. The driver for the Executive Director Mulago gets 200,000. The driver for a driver of Cancer Institute gets 1.7 million. And it applies to Cancer Institute driver. The secretary of the ED to Mulago earns 700,000. The secretary of ED Heart Institute and Cancer Institute earns 2.7 respectively. Right Honourable Speaker, the 2 institutions, Cancer Institute and Heart Institute, were born by Mulago. And I'm not saying that they are getting a lot of money. But if we are saying, we have been talking about rationalization, and with the major aim of streamlining salaries and promoting equity across. How do you expect the ED of Mulago to earn 15, this one earn 39, and then you expect no demonstrations of doctors at Mulago, you expect efficiency, you expect morale to go high, and it is the same public service that is trusted with rationalization. Are they rational in doing some of these things?
As we talk now in most schools where head teachers are artists and others are scientists, the science head teachers are opting to go back to classrooms because the salary differences is too high. Right Honourable Speaker, in other districts like our district, Namayingo, teachers are paid now in tons. You find that the district reasons that the money they have can only pay scientists, and the arts teachers since December have not received their salaries, and there is no teaching. These are rural districts that actually need services. So you find that, as my colleagues have stated, even when it comes to the results at the end of it, at the end of the year, the performance is low. The question of paying scientists, especially in police, prisons, and the Ministry of Defense, is touchy, especially for us who sit on a sectoral committee that oversees defense and internal affairs. We are always bombarded by colleagues in these forces, in these sectors. They question, why are we paid differently? So it is a question that the minister actually should comprehensively give an answer, not to tell us that it is embedded in the supplementary.
It is me that's asked this particular question. The reason why I brought it up was because scientists were receiving Okay, as you said, they were on general duties. So they were receiving around 650, 850. They were later enhanced to 2.2 million. At the beginning of this financial year, you brought in a budget where we budgeted for their salaries as scientists to 4 million. And then they received this money from July to February. They went ahead and got loans. They went ahead and made commitments to different entities. Finally, in March, you dropped a bomb on them and reduced their salaries back to 800,000 and 650. Yet they had commitments, and Parliament had appropriated that money, like you brought it in the budget. So, then after the complaints, now you're bringing up the issue of some came in as general duties, others came in as scientists. As of today, all we know is you employed them. It is not their problem if you're not deployed them. Because it is you, prison, to deploy them. Go to forestry, go to engineering, go to this brigade. So today, with the commitments that they have, and without warning that you're going to cut their salaries, could you please clarify to this parliament where these scientists are going to get money? Because the loans they have are 2 million, you've dropped them back to 850, yet we appropriated money to the entity to pay them as scientists.
Right Honorable Speaker, you're aware payment of salaries was actually decentralized to a particular vote. What we people in public service do is really to carry out an aggregate at the beginning of each budget year of how much money is required for salary, the wage bill. And it is looked at with finance. We agree that that's what we're going to pay. And then finance, once it is settled and appropriation is done, then finance sends out these amounts of money, the various votes, for the officers to pay. Now, if a particular vote holder chooses to pay something less or something, that is really an aspect of that given particular vote holder. Right Honorable Speaker, yes, we have been here time and again about the discrepancies in pay. But I recall this House agreed that let's enhance pay for all public servants, but let's do it in phases. And this was determined not because we just want to make people suffer or more or less discomfort our civil servants. This was done because of the actual performance of our budget, our economy. And we agreed we are going to pay in phases, and we have started on this in earnest, and we've been paying in phases.
Well, that matters regarding salary, creating informal salary structures, that is for the civil servants in that way. And of course, there has been the complaint regarding why scientists earn more than these others that are non-scientists. But now, of course, the members of parliament are calling in for equity, at least a fair structure regarding that. Joram, I mean, when I look through this, I find it quite tricky. But, you know, it's always been the norm that, you know, science, because when I look, I'm just giving an opinion, though it's not the definite truth, but just according to how I see things. A science teacher or any person that is doing a job that is connected to science, if you really take time and go through what they have gone through to reach where they are, it's quite a huge investment. And we all know, regardless, any country where you go, in America, whether which country, science jobs pay high.
Well, first of all, I think the only issue here with the country is the fact that they earn a lot more, or what I believe was the biggest issue takes us back to the fact that this entire argument started off last year. Okay, it has been ongoing. It's been on, last year, it was clearly shown that the science teachers are going to earn more. Now, on the other hand, the arts counterparts, the ones who are in the social sciences, were like social sciences and humanities. So we're like, well, it does seem like we are not being recognized at what we're doing. What you're doing. Does it seem like the people we teach are not vital?
Okay. Yes.
Because,
Yes.
when you look at the fact that some of the examples being given was the fact that even when you look at the members of parliament, most of them are not strictly science students.
Of
Some
course,
them
definitely
are,
arts.
arts students
Yeah,
because of the
majority.
political sphere of it.
Yeah.
Though things have changed now, some have actually done science.
Science,
Besides
They've
that,
gone. Yeah.
but when you look at the issue to do with sciences, well, obviously, sciences have always been highly respected.
Highly respected. Yeah.
Even us back in school, you could easily give a science student in A level. If you had someone call them science.
Science. Yes.
Man is
Respect.
the guy is intelligent. So we even attached that. I think it is even current. It's actually used even up to now. That when you look at the kind of for example, when you look at the kind of say students here or science students in the country, you get to realize that we tend to actually say to give credit to them because of the fact that in society, even the available courses or even the careers that they choose are more paying.
Paying. Definitely. Yeah.
Because a science student is one who is supposed to be doing medicine and everything.
Medicine.
Even though we have issues with the doctors who are earning less as well.
Talk about engineers, all that. Yeah.
Talk about all
In the tech sector, it's all rolling in there.
So I think all in all is looking at how the sciences have shaped the world.
The world. Now that is key.
But I
Impact.
think when it comes to the issue as to why members of parliament are thinking government should come up with a salary review committee to at least review these salaries, because salary discrepancies, even in institutions, whether it's a public institution or a private institution, tend to these actually tend to give a different picture of how people react to certain things.
Yeah, true.
Recently, when we are working in the same in the same organization, and then you and I are doing the same things, or doing the exact tasks, and then I'm earning more, or you're earning more than me. At times, it may not sit well with the both of us. But the question would be, why is it that he is earning more than so? Yes. And if we are doing the same thing or the same tasks, or we're actually having, let's say, should we say we actually arrive at the same time now? Because most of these arts teachers were saying we all teach for example, if we are teaching A level, we are both teaching A level. It's all 2 hours of our time there.
Yes.
Why then does it have to seem like we have to, earn less or anything?
The energy they spend to explain those concepts to the students to understand.
To understand and everything. So this is why some of the members of parliament are agreeing that, well, sciences need to be highly appreciated. And that means you have to focus on input. Because, by the way, most in the current generations, you get to realize people are now comfortable with siding away from sciences. People tend to want to do the human approach, social sciences. Social sciences. Because with the appeal of the generation, by the way, sorry to say this, our generation does seem to be a lazy one.
You're 100% right.
A lazy one that is a little bit more comfortable with doing things that are easier for them, as long as they're earning them money. So we are so quick to understand that we really need quick money.
Quick money, yes.
So you find an 18-year-old doing, let's say, doing an arts combination, and then you ask them, what do you want to be? So, and ideally, the combination is for them to just pass through school, to give the papers back to the parents and everything.
Yeah, to pass.
So after that, goes to the university, does whatever they are doing, but still in their mind, they want something that is bringing them money. Now, again, you can clearly blame it on the curriculum and everything, but also our kind of mentality, our kind of generation.
And even the mentorship.
Yeah, the mentorship. So we are in a generation where we have doctors who want to be celebrities. You are a doctor. You want to be a celebrity. You want to be a renowned doctor on social media. Why?
Yeah.
People don't understand their professions at some times. You want to earn. So you're a doctor. You want to be a motivational speaker.
Yes.
You want to be a public figure. Yet you're supposed to be
focusing on the patients.
You're supposed to be focusing on your career. We are treating this generation as a celebrity-driven generation whereby everyone wants to be
known.
a star. You want to be a star in your own way. It is very okay, but you know, at times you get to realize that there are certain things that are not meant for everybody. That is why we have musicians or artists or people in the entertainment world who are born entirely to entertain us and to be public figures. And you can easily see what they do. They are really, really into this. But finding a doctor, an engineer, you know,
it's famous.
You know,
but you know, Jerome,
and this
something small on that, like to add on what you're saying. Do you know that if if you can focus on your career and you give it your best, you become famous.
You'll still be recognized.
Like Ben Carson is a good example. Till now, he stands.
So
yes,
you'll still be recognized at the end of it all. But now, getting back to the to our topic here, to our interest, the issue is salary. One, members of parliament want a uniform salary for people.
Structure.
Why most of them want a uniform salary structure? They want to deal with the salary discrepancy. Yes, but obviously it can't be. Because if a maths teacher won't earn the same money as a history teacher.
That can't be.
Unless when it comes to, for example, experience,
maybe
a math teacher
qualifications.
Maybe if a math teacher is a degree holder.
And this one is a master's.
Yeah, and the question would as well be why would a master's mathematics teacher be doing in high school? So you still ask yourself all those questions. Yeah, because most of them are diploma holders and then degrees. So when you have your degree, for example, you are a history teacher and you've taught for the last 20 years, and you know your history is top notch, you may likely earn some good money, maybe 2 million or 1.5.
Actually, I saw that.
And then a math teacher who has been teaching for 5 years may as well be earning 1.5 simply because of the experience maybe and where he has been. But when you look at the science teachers, it will be very difficult because even when members of parliament are pushing for this agenda in the public salary structures, you realize in the private schools, it is evident a science teacher is going to earn more
money.
Or unless an arts teacher is good at administration and they have a rich CV, that is when they can easily earn, because at times you realize where arts teachers are earning more money is when they are in administration roles.
Actually,
or they've actually been known for teaching in big traditional schools.
Yeah, very true.
For example, it's someone who's because in arts, most of the renowned arts subjects may be geography, history, talk about...
geography, there's history, there is economics.
Economics, economics, and economics, because it's more of cutting across. That person earns a lot more of money because it's wide. Economics really needs someone who's very, very knowledgeable about what they're doing. But also, besides that, I want to believe some members of parliament are only calling in for a uniform structure. That may not be possible simply because we as a country have no, minimum wage bill whatsoever.
Minimum and maximum, you're right.
So we don't even have the minimum wage or salary cap as a country. So that means the only thing they can actually claim for, or that they can actually push for, which does seem realistic at the moment, is the increment of salaries for the arts teachers as well.
So that at least to reduce the gap.
To reduce the gap so that they can as well be recognized. Because if that is not done, then government may clearly just forget about them.
Because actually, one thing I know, it's funny in our country that even though they woke up and they say that now they're bridging the gap, now the scientists will also say we need more money. If you can increase these salaries, if someone has been earning 800 and now he's earning 1.2, and me have been earning 1.8, why can't I earn 2.5? That's my only worry when this is passed, that it might be hard to come to this understanding anyway, because still we'll come back to this aspect in our country whereby every person, everyone wants to feel like, I earn money, I know. Everyone wants to prove their worth.
Very true.
In regarding to that. So that could also cause some unforeseen sort of rights between the arts and the sciences. Well, I don't know, what's your opinion as you're watching right there? You can actually interact with us on our Twitter. That's at Smart24TV. What do you really think about the science teachers, the salary? Do you really think science teachers need to be earning quite a big range of salary as compared to the arts? If no, why? If yes, still, what's the reason? you would give for that. You can hit us on our Twitter as we have this discussion ongoing. Well, it's exactly 24 minutes past 9, still on your daily Kickstarter, driving your business. But of course, don't forget the markets on the Zabu platform already opened. Start 292 hashes the USSD code, definitely, which will avail you with quite lots of options. You will be able to access government bonds and securities for as little as 15,000 Ugandan shillings. Now the markets open at 8:15 a.m. and they will be running till 3:15 p.m. That is East African time. This is effective from Monday up to Friday. Yes, except on the weekends and the public holidays when the markets are not in operation. But you have the rest of the 5 days to capitalize on these markets and make quite some huge profits. And that is going to be very instrumental to your personal growth as a person and financial security, which is the most important aspect every person wakes up looking for, financial security in whatever they're doing. Zabu, my money, my future, all techs, East Africa, do something new. Well, at this very time, let's get into a short break. And of course, we shall be returning to wrap up the show with our on-ground discussions and of course have and also some other related business aspects. Good morning.